Well, yesterday I told you guys save your void shards, as the purple summoning portal is not a void shard event. It's a good thing we did, because today I got the news sent to me that a 2x void is coming out tomorrow. That is right. It is coming out and coinciding with the in-game champion chase tournament. So if you're wondering when it starts, if you look at the latest tournament, as soon as the champion chase tournament starts, then the 2x void will be activated. Now, there's a couple of things I need to tell you guys right off the bat about this. One of which is I have hundreds and hundreds of void shards that people are offering to let me open. So if you're wanting to see a massive void shard opening and you don't have shards yourself to open, we're going to be able to do that live. You can find it on my Twitch, as well as I'll probably do some live on this channel. Hit the subscribe and hit the bell to know when that's going to happen. The other thing is I have to do a correction, because yesterday I said it was a 4,000 gem giveaway that I'm doing on this channel for people that are subscribed and leave the comment Cosmic Banana. It's actually 4,500 gem giveaway, not a 4,000, as there's 5 people for 900. I don't know why my basic math was so off, but it's 4,500, not 4,000 gems. So for that reason, I'm going to give you guys another chance. Today is your last chance if you want to get in on that giveaway. All you have to do is when I put out my next video, I'm going to search for people to type Cosmic Banana. And then I'm going to search by people who are subscribed. And all of the people who are subscribed to the channel and left a comment that says Cosmic Banana, you guys are in it. I'll pick 5 at random, and you guys will receive the gems. So let's get that out of the way. Congratulations to the people who will win on the next video. And let's get on with talking about the big news today. Just in case you guys wanted to see, there is in fact the in-game news right here. It is not fake. It starts with the champion chase. The champion chase starts in exactly 15 hours. If we go to the tournament here, the Fire Knight's done. 14 hours, 57 minutes as of the creation of this video is when it's going to be out. So I'm looking forward to that. Now, as terms of packs, what can we expect in terms of packs to show up? You notice they're selling us a lot of book deals right now. I think they were trying to snag as much as they could off Ancients with Jareg and get you guys with the special skill packs as they come out. Smart move. You guys can probably expect to see, I would assume in the beginning, maybe some of those $100 or $70 void packs, maybe the $70 one that comes with a few of the books and a few void shards. 2x void, I can't really say that 2x void is not worth chasing, because it is. I mean, there's not really any better value in the game. Will I be buying lots of sets? I might buy a couple of the 7 void shard for $25, maybe 2 or 3 of those, and just kind of like take a stab at my luck. Other than that, I'm not really going to be buying them. Now, one other thing I wanted to know, tell you guys about here is these crit damage sets. If you're new to the game, I'm talking like new, okay? Like, you're below level 40 or something, you only have a few characters. If you spend $20 or $30 here or there, you're spending a couple $100 a month, right? Maybe buy one of these packs, maybe 2. And the reason I say that is because if you have a Royal Guard or Cold Heart, but you have like plus 80% crit damage or something bad just because you have no gear. Like in the beginning of the game, I wailed out hard on shards, right? There was a $500 worth of shard openings like every other day. But what I realized was while I was pulling the characters, what really carried me through the in-game, the characters help, or through the early game, I should say, was the characters help, but they had these $10 lifesteal packs. They're basically like this, okay, where you got 6 of them, but it was like $10, $12, something like that, and you got 6 of them, and you could buy 9 of them, kind of like you can buy 7 of these now. And I literally bought them out, and it was like $90. Let's just say that was $100, right? Which is the cost of like one of my 41 Ancient Shard packs I would have bought. But I used that lifesteal gear for so long. I mean, for so long. Okay, I used it all the way up until like Ultra Nightmare when I started switching. I think there's even like 1 or 2 pieces that I still use on some teams. Whereas the crit damage, and it's not a good deal. Okay, so let's get that out of the way right now, because some people are going to be like, you never buy gear, gear's bad. You don't. Okay, they're right. You don't buy gear. It's not efficient. What I'm trying to say is if you're the type of person who does not play efficiently, because just straight up buying shards is not efficient either, and you're trying to progress, buying a few of these packs in comparison to the inefficient money you are already spending is not really that bad, especially if you happen to pull a Code Heart or Royal Guard or something early. And again, we're talking about early game characters, okay? Or early game accounts. Because if you're already confined, farm, like if I go here and I do Fire Knight, right? And I go in here and I pick let's just do this, and I throw this team in or whatever. I guess I was using Killian. But you get the idea. You get where I'm going with this, right? So I go into Fire Knight, and I do a 2 or 3 minute run or however it is with this team, and I pick a piece of crit damage. You guys have seen the stats that I've done where I've explained the drop rates, and if you haven't, I'll throw a card up somewhere, but just one of the random dungeons where you can see the drop rates on this stuff, and you can do 300, 400, 500 battles and get loot for them, and not even get a couple pieces of gear that are keepable. I mean, granted, they're more keepable the earlier on you are in the game. However, as the game progresses, it becomes harder and harder and harder to replace those older pieces of gear. For that reason, too, since replacing pieces of gear is so difficult, if you happen to get like a crit damage pair of gloves or like a speed crit damage pair of boots, for instance, those might last you all the way through the game. Like, I'll give you an example, okay? If you look at me, and you guys know me, I've spent about 15,000 at this point, and I have what I would consider decent gear. If you look at my crit damage gear, you look through here, and you see the pieces I'm keeping that are glyphed and stuff. They're not exactly like completely godly. Here, I'll move my side. I know I'm right in the way here. Whoop. So if you look at these, I mean, a lot of these are not hilariously amazing. We just have like 4 speed, 16% crit. You might actually end up keeping some of this one. Just wrote speed a few times and I kept it. I mean, even some of the resistance speed, like this one here, for instance, where I wrote resistance a whole lot. This goes on a Mountain King character, has all the Mountain King stats. You might end up keeping some of these, especially if it's something like, I don't know, like this one, where it's an attack percentage boot with crit damage. This might actually work on a Royal Guard because I've built people like my Royal Guard slowly. And you don't really want flat stats or anything, but crit damage gear can kind of be moved around a little bit because, this guy's 80 speed, but look at this one. He's 45, right? This one's 20. And the reason I have them slow is because you can speed tune characters to be just perfect depending on what damage you're doing in the dungeons, or what dungeon you're doing. This one I have like them faster than slower and slower. That way more Spiderlings come out between the turns, so they're always going to use their AoE takedown. And then he charges in, making them put their defense down because there's 3 of the Royal Guards, and then he does the weaken right. The poison comes up from battle, he becomes the tanker, and then you just have the fast guy going. Those guys go. Second guy goes here. And he'll clear the spiders, right? And then what will happen is he's got Relentless, so Longbeard just goes sometimes. It doesn't really change anything, though. He clears the spider, and now because the other one's slow, some spiders come back up, right? Making him want to use his AoE again, and he clears it. So because of that, even bad pieces of gear can be used. And I'm not saying that you should go out and buy all the packs right now. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is when you see like maybe a $10 lifesteal pack, or like a $20 crit damage pack, and you have absolutely none of this gear, you're someone who spends money. Maybe if you pull yourself an attack percentage glove with crit damage, or something just for Shazar if you have one, or a crit rate glove if you have like a War Mother. I'm relative to where you are. Gear packs that are like divine speed, crit damage, really good packs sometimes can be useful. That's it. That's my point here, okay? I think that's a pretty fair, reasonable point. Obviously, if you buy them and it ends up rolling garbage like this, it's just a big bummer. You got boned, okay? But that's the game. I mean, the game is RNG on RNG. That's the one argument against them more than anything is the fact, let's say you do buy this, right? And you're like, okay, well, I bought this piece of gear. It rode accuracy, but hey, if it rode speed twice more, this is like a 12 speed glove. It might go on a secondary character who just needs flat speed for like arena or something. So you're like, okay, maybe I can get use for that. Then it rose attack. So now you're like, okay, well, it's RNG on RNG. I RNG'd out the primary. Now I'm RNGing out the secondaries. And you can very quickly lose any profitability you would have had. Okay, so I wanted to break down kind of the gear sets real quick and explain them because I've seen some just flat out misinformation where people say gear purchasing is completely useless always, no matter what. And I mean, that's not really true for people who are like, quote unquote, wasting money on this game, you know, large amounts. They're honestly not always that bad. Now, the last thing I'm going to say about this is farming gear with energy will always be better in terms of value. And this is doubly as true for Spider Dungeon. The reason for this is when you're actually farming the dungeons, a few things can happen. You can get ancient shard drops, but more importantly, you're selling the pieces of gear that are useless. This is allowing you to get silver, okay? Whereas when you're purchasing the packs, the silver you're getting is just really barely enough to get like a couple levels and a couple pieces of gear. It's not enough to make up for the differential of actually farming the dungeon. For this reason, you have to farm dungeons. You cannot purchase all the gear you need in this game. It is simply not possible. You need to farm and farm 10 to 1 the amount you're purchasing. Farming gear will always be better. There is zero dispute about this. That being said, do not feel terrible when there's the 6 piece of gear offer, never the 4 at a low price for sets that are useful. Okay, I hope that information was useful for you. And speaking of seeing gear and wanting to know how much you have to farm, I just farmed 6,400 energy, and I'm going to show all of that 6,400 energy from the spider stand with a good clear rate, as high as I can get it without basically, again, resisted 3 times by 3 different people for the defense down, which has happened, believe it or not. So I'm going to show that 6,400 energy that you can get at Spider 20 and what the results of that on the next video, which is coming out today. So hit subscribe and the bell. That way you'll be notified when that comes out if you would like to see that, because I'm going to go work on that video right now. Okay, leave the words Cosmic Banana in a comment and make sure you're subscribed for the 4,500 gym giveaway. I love you all. Thank you for spending your time with me on this video, and I hope you have a fantastic day.